I just want to talk to you all, and this is at certain members' request, about a very important principle, which is called GYO-I. Okay? GYO-I. And this has a great deal of relevance, really, to everybody's life who practices Buddhism, but perhaps very particularly to young men who are carving out their future lives. So, you know, this morning I was talking about the heavy coat of experiences that in this day and age young people have to carry because of the nature of our society. So it really is like a heavy overcoat, as I said, with rocks in the pockets into the bargain. And we really haven't got the strength to hold this up. And because we feel we haven't got the strength to face the reality of all those experiences and the weight of this coat, usually I think the first thing people do before they start practicing, but sometimes a little bit after they start practicing, is to try to find a prop. Something that's going to help them stand up coat on. And that's usually probably a girlfriend or a wife, in the case of young men. And, of course, the trouble then is that the weight proves too much for the wife or the girlfriend also. The girlfriend or the wife can't take the weight of one's own problem as well as her own. So in the end, she collapses. And of course, we collapse also. Then the painful business begins all over again. We have to pick ourselves up and trying to find some other prop or some other means of escape from this heavy overcoat. So maybe it's another girlfriend or another wife. That's quite common these days. 1 in every 3, I think it is, marriages now is ending in divorce. Incredible thought, isn't it? Or we try to find perhaps a new job or some new surroundings, or we decide to move to another town or city. All sorts of ways to try to find some way of ridding ourselves of this great heavy overcoat of experiences. And of course we can't get rid of it. So behind all this action and reaction is the fact that we can't bring ourselves to face that reality, isn't it? The reality of our life as it is at that particular moment. Carrying this great coat with rocks in all the pockets, and each one of those rocks is an experience. And we don't like looking at them or thinking of them. We want to put them behind us somehow and forget them, but we can't. So we can't face the reality of now, therefore we can't face the reality of the future, obviously. If we can't face where we are at this moment, there's no starting point, is there? And therefore, there's no direction in our lives in those circumstances. So as a result of that, though we may have had secret, as it were, dreams and hopes, we lose them. We feel there's no hope of getting anywhere near them, so the best thing is to forget them altogether and just carry on as best we can, often in misery and despair. This is really the life of many young people who haven't got the Behonsen. And as I say, sometimes even with the Behonsen, we still fall into that same trap. But with the Behonsen, we have this incredible principle waiting for us to use it. GYO-I. So GYO, if you can read it, is the ultimate aim. The ultimate aim of our lives in each of its various aspects. The ultimate aim that we wish to achieve in our family life, the ultimate aim in our working life, the ultimate aim in our social life, and the ultimate aim in our life of Buddhist activities as well. And then Chi is you or me. with the wisdom of the Gohanzen, right? And then yo is the action we need to take to achieve the ultimate aim, kyo. And E is the position or status which we need to take up, the contacts we need to make, or the position we need to hold in order to reach the ultimate aim. Okay? So that is the description or explanation in a simple way of this kyo-chi, kyo-i. But of course, we then have to put it to work. So really, what is lying behind this principle is that our thinking minds block wisdom. If we think and think and think and think and worry and feel more and more anxious and intense about our lives and our problems, all that thinking totally closes off the fountain of wisdom, if you like, which exists deep in our life. Stands to reason, doesn't it? Because we're using our shallow minds. We're not opening up our lives in any way so that the wisdom can flow. So behind this principle is the fact that you don't want to think, worry what you're going to do tomorrow and the next day. Of course we have to think and plan a bit, but not endlessly absorbed with how to do things. So what Buddhism is saying is, if you would courageously bring out your secret hopes and dreams and plant them in front of the Gohanzen, with the power of the Gohanzen, you'll get there. So those secret hopes and dreams, perhaps secret is a silly word to use, but what you really hope for your life is what kyo means. I used to call it, and sometimes do still, like my golden vision. So your golden vision of the future is something quite misty in a way. It's not necessarily crystal clear. Sometimes it is. But sometimes it's something quite generalized. I want, a job in maybe that particular field, and it's got to fulfill me. I've got to love doing it. And I've got to prove the power of the Gohanzen in that job. Maybe it's as general as that. Or I want a really wonderful wife, with a good heart, who can be really my mate for my life, my mate for Kosen Rufu. And I certainly want a couple of children by her. That's my vision, with a nice house, somewhere warm where people can feel welcome, and where my children can grow up happily. As general as that. Or I want to do something in society. I really must achieve something in my community to make it a better place to live in. Or in the case of Kosen Rufu, I want my district, really to become a chapter within the next so long. Or I want to be able to hold district meetings in my house. Or I really want to make the BCGs great, or the Young Men's Division fantastic. I want a Shokabuku. These sort of things, right? Very generalized, but they cover each area of your life. And they form altogether your kyo, your ultimate aim. Now what Buddhism is then saying is, since chi is you practicing to the Gohanzen, with the wisdom of the Buddha state being activated in your life every day through your regular practice, by the very nature of the power of that practice, or the power of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, you will, step by step, achieve your kyo without fail, provided you keep that kyo living in your life. That's why I call it a golden vision. Because even though I was occupied in all sorts of different day-to-day things, I did have, and I have to this very day, a golden vision of what I'm going to achieve in the future. In my case, before I die. In your case, maybe by the time you're 40 or 50 or whatever. So because of the difficulties and sufferings of life, it's very difficult for some people to look at the future even. But with the Gohanzen you can, and with the Gohanzen you should, and with the Gohanzen you must, if you're really going to fulfill your whole life. So at the AGM this year, we're going to ask everybody to write 20-year determinations. Determinations of what people want to achieve by the year 2001. These will be put under the Buddhist at Richmond, and then eventually, 20 years' time, you'll be able to take them out and see how much you've got. We did this in 1975 for 10 years. So 1985, all the members of 1975 will be taking out their determinations from the envelopes where they've been stored under the Buddhist, and they'll see. I know one member who told me that after 3 years, everything they'd written on the list was completed anyway. But this isn't just a stupid exercise for the sake of it. It's to help people to establish their KYO. Because until you establish your KYO, your life will have no momentum, no direction. Therefore it can't advance. So it's an incredibly important thing, this. Now then Buddhism goes on to say that if you establish your KYO strongly in each area of your life, and if you practice regularly and strongly to the Gohanzen, which is Chi, your wisdom will then flow. And you don't have to worry about GYO and I. So 90% of the people of the world are worrying all the time about GYO and I. What should I do tomorrow? Should I have done that today? Or should I do it tomorrow? Should I get to know that person? Shall I, make friends with the manager so that I can become his assistant? All these tactics we spend our time thinking about. But our mind does not understand the future. Our mind has no conception about what tomorrow is going to be like, let alone what, 1 year ahead's going to be like. On the other hand, our Buddha state knows the future completely. Past, present, and future are one, right? So the Chi, you with the wisdom of the Gohanzen, the wisdom of the Gohanzen knows the future. So it's the wisdom of the Gohanzen you must be concerned with to activate in your life, not spending your time thinking about GYO and I, which only serve that thinking to block your wisdom. So this is an incredible concept, and it really works. This is the marvelous thing about it. So it works because of Ichinen Sanzen. Ichinen Sanzen, remember, means the 3,000 worlds in a moment of existence. In every moment of your life, that life of yours is expressing itself in 3,000 incredibly powerful ways. Whatever is in your Ichinen, that is to say, in your determination or in the center of your life, will be expressed in those 3,000 different ways. So if your golden vision is living in your Ichinen, then that will be expressing itself in 3,000 different ways every 24 hours of every day, in countless ways that you can't even see. Little tiny actions, some of them. Yet those tiny actions are not a millimeter forward to your KYO. Other actions, which of course you can see consciously, realize that's taking you a step on towards it. But in all those different ways, your life will be working towards your ultimate aim, your KYO, or your golden vision. So this is really an amazing concept. And of course, once you understand it and get used to using the Gohanzen in this way, it gives you freedom. No longer are you bound by that intense worry and absorption with your own problems. So of course on the way you have to struggle. Inevitably you get obstacles, difficulties, problems. But as long as through those obstacles and difficulties and problems you keep that kyo living in your life. How to keep it? Well, it's up to you. Probably the best way to establish your golden vision, your kyo, is through putting it in the fourth prayer, where you can give personal prayers every single day in Gongyo, until that kyo becomes part of your life. Other people may make sure to chant about it. Other people may do both. But the whole purpose of that is to place it in the center of your life and keep it there. Then every daimoku you chant and every action you take will in fact, though you don't realize it, be leading towards the achievement of that ultimate aim. So for sure, the only way Mr. Toda, for instance, achieved his incredible advance, 750,000 members, before he died, over just a few years, was because he'd established that as his golden vision. Therefore, everything in his life worked towards it, whether he knew it or not. Same with Sensei. Same with each one of us. We can all do it. The reason we find it difficult is that we doubt it. We limit the power of the Gonzen, don't we, because of our own imaginations. But this can be done, and will be done, if you really follow that principle. So of course the struggle is to make us strong, right? If we're going to get value out of our golden vision when we get there, we've got to be strong people. If we're weak and wishy-washy, probably that beautiful wife, will leave us. We've got to become strong. If we get the business and the work that we want, unless we have inner strength, we can't run it properly. So we waste the benefit. So the struggles are bound to come. In the Dosho, there's that famous line, iron when heated in the flames and pounded becomes a fine sword. Wise men and saints are tested by abuse. So just like the making of a sword, of a fine steel blade, we have to be hammered. And what's more, hammered while that iron is hot. That's what makes us strong. That's what the purpose of these difficulties and sufferings are. So certainly, as young men, we should determine, to fight our way through all these difficulties, keeping the golden vision of our kyo strongly in the center of our lives, really trying hard never to waver. Then each one of us, our inner lives, will really shine like steel. That's how strong we can become. Then, of course, we can hold up that heavy greatcoat, and we can use all those rocks and take them out to help us guide and help other people to do the same thing. So this principle is incredible and great, and it really works.